Hello traders, today I'm joined by another early user of the AIFO prop trading platform who has shown great consistency and resilience in his trading. And so I'm delighted to introduce James, a British entrepreneur shipping products to American golfers who discovered prop trading throughout his journey of investing from a very early age. He has been a prop trader now for several months and received a recent payout with AIFO. So welcome, James. Thank you very much for having this interview with me.
No problem, Fred. Nice to see you again.
So one of the big questions I always ask is, how did you get into trading? It's a very unique industry. And what was your journey into it?
So yeah, essentially, about 6 years ago, I followed the advice of my ex-business partner to invest in a crypto project called Card Starter, which cost me a fair amount of money when it got rug pulled. The reason we decided to invest in Card Starter was due to watching a YouTuber who claimed it was going to the moon,
Right.
which it didn't. So yeah, that was a tough experience, an expensive lesson, but it kept me curious about the markets. So about 4 years ago, we then started to try paper trading. We were scalping the S&P 500 at first, but quickly I kind of realized my strategy. Back then was basically a coin toss. I ended up stopping because I realized I wasn't learning anything and I didn't really see how I was benefiting from this in continuing to do it. So yeah, I stepped back and continued to keep an eye on the markets, kind of almost as a second nature, but I wasn't trading at the time. What really clicked for me later was seeing how global events move the charts. So things like Nvidia, TSMC, rising in the AI boom, Tesla crashing after the boycotts, airlines like Cathay Pacific and American Airlines getting hit by COVID. Yeah, I suppose ExxonMobil and Chevron making record profits after Putin's invasion of Ukraine. So just stuff like this was like really showing me the impact of macro events. And then, so I've been in and out of trading, I'd say, about 6 years. But it wasn't until I found prop trading, everything aligned. I started developing a supply and demand trading strategy that really works for me. And that's when it really started to pay off.
That's wonderful. Wonderful introduction. And to be honest, I share a very similar story in the sense that I also came from investing. That was a big part of my background prior to trading. Yes, there is a difference. And so what I always found is if you have a bit of knowledge and understanding of investing, then when you get into the trading aspect of it, there are some parts that really do help you, and it really helps guide you in some of your decisions. So it's a very helpful skill and knowledge to have for sure. But yeah, that's absolutely wonderful. And I'm a supply and demand trader as well. So we're running very similar strategies and similar background. Which financial instruments are you trading and why?
I focus on Forex CFDs, specifically major pairs like Euro Dollar and GU. Since I live in the UK, I mostly trade GU, obviously because it's just easier to stay on top of news cycles and economic events.
Yeah. Because I had a trader come on quite some time ago, and he was also a British trader, and he just and to be fair, myself, I'm very much exclusively trading GU. I do play around with the euro dollar once in a while, but I trade the GU just because I'm always staying up to date on the fundamentals of the economic news that is happening over there. Whereas, if I was trading, other pairs, I do trade the JPY, but not as much like the JU, but I don't follow the Japanese economic news as much as I do with the British one. So yeah, this seems to be a very common theme among our British traders.
Yeah, again, it's just easier to be in the loop when it's in your own time zone. I mean, I used to do a bit of gold trading as well, but the last month or two, it's been specifically doing Forex. So yeah, I completely agree. It's the same for me. I use supply and demand to find my technical entries. I wait for macroeconomic events to align before I pull the trigger. If the macro data confirms my technical analysis, then that's my green light. I used to trade a lot of gold. I actually held a long position on it for a fair amount of time. But right now, I'm out of the market to concentrate fully on the high liquidity Forex pairs, where the macro events are currently providing the most opportunity.
Yeah. It's funny. I had a question quite some time ago from a trader who was new to the industry, and I had done a video before on exotic pairs, and minor pairs. And a lot of them were asking me, why don't you trade the exotic pairs as much as you would the major pairs? And a big
Mm.
the big reason as to why is because liquidity is not there, right? Like, you're not gonna be having the Mexican peso against the Swiss franc. It's not going to be as traded as much as the GU, right? And so it's really important. Yeah. So I think I was reading a report quite some time ago that the euro dollar is the largest liquid market that you can trade in forex, and GU is the second. And so these two pairs are a lot more better to trade and more stable. If that makes sense, it has more structure, more stability, rather than those exotic pairs where somebody enters the market with a small amount and poof, it really moves the market. Okay.
Yeah, man, I 100% agree.
And so, being over in the UK, it is quite a difficult industry to get into, right? Trading has always been seen as perhaps this exclusive industry that you need some type of university degree to get into, which you don't, right? I don't believe they teach technical analysis in university, right? So, so what have been your biggest hurdles getting into trading, considering you're working full time? What would have been your biggest hurdles?
Okay, so for me, the biggest hurdle initially was psychological blow of this the early crypto loss that I had. I'm not gonna lie to you, Fred, it really stung.
Yeah, like those types of I did a video quite some time ago, and it's called loss aversion, and it happens to me all the time where we would feel the loss of a trade, or the loss of a profit much harsher than we would a win, right? So if we were going to get a TP and we TP'd and we made like $600, we would feel pretty good, absolutely. But if it went the opposite way and we lost $600, even less than that, it stings so much. And especially if you're in a bit of a losing streak, that really, and I'm not immune to it. No trader is immune to losses. And so you're right, psychologically, it's a hard barrier to get past. So it's good that you kept on.
Yeah, I mean, getting tilted is terrible, but you just gotta grind on through. Another thing I'd say is honestly another challenge is just drowning out the noise spread. So social media and YouTube is flooded with grifters claiming that they've cracked the code and they have some type of secret formula. But yeah, it's just all noise and it's all a distraction.
Yeah. I always find that this to be, I've gone through that grind, right? I feel as though that becomes a natural path for traders to go through, because social media is absolutely everywhere. You're going to be seeing a lot of these influencers who are like, it's easy, guys. It's easy. It's not easy, obviously. And so, you really got to kind of drone that out as best as you possibly can. And yeah, it's a really difficult one for sure. And I feel like a lot of traders, they will have to go through that process, similar to how I did it. You get to a point where you start to be able to divide, what's good and what is bad, and then you slowly, move toward where you want to get to. But yeah, it really sucks to go through and listen to all of this noise and influencers, and you just confuse your strategy. And when you get to the charts, it just, it never goes that way. So yeah, that's a really good point.
Well, I mean, I think finding like quality, honest resources that actually teach you the fundamentals. This is much harder than it should be, but I found AIFO's Academy to be really useful in this regard.
Oh, thank you. Yeah. So I mean, we pride ourselves a lot on the academy side, the education side. The academy, it has been designed to as a bit of a library for you to when you're first entering into the markets. We want to cover almost every topic there possibly is, from the psychological standpoint to just the general basics of how the market is, and then all the different strategies. I might have missed a few, but some of the biggest popular strategies just on the surface, explaining what they are, how you can do it. So that means a lot. Thank you very much. Yeah, it's still a work in progress, and we're always bringing out more educational content and bringing more onto the team to offer more advanced trading structure and strategies to our traders.
Glad to hear it. I would say one more point as well,
Yep.
just about hurdles. It would be it's around discipline and routine. So yeah, I work full time, self-employed. So I had to realize that while trading is a challenge, it isn't rocket science. So it looks intimidating from the outside, but once you have a strategy, it gets better. And I think a lot of it is about routine. So I wake up about 7 o'clock, do my analysis, and I'm ready to execute by say around 8 o'clock when the UK market's open. You don't need to be glued to the screen all day, which is what a lot of people think. So yeah, you just need to move away from gambling and towards a structured plan that fits around your life.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, I had a British trader come on before, and he said something relatively quite similar. And or concern a lot of traders come to me with is, how can I trade full time? Do I need to quit my job, right? And that's entirely not the case, right? And again, that kind of comes back to all of these different types of strategies that you need to find the one that suits you best. For example, scalping is not going to suit a full-time worker, right? Because you do need to be looking almost minute by minute on the chart. But for example, like supply and demand, right? You can use supply and demand trading on all these different types of time frames where you would do your technical analysis, you would see where you want the price to go. Once it eventually gets there, and it takes a couple of hours, sometimes days to finally get there, you can then set an alarm, an alert. And once that alert goes off, then you enter into that trade. So it's entirely doable. I think, and of course, there's a lot of resource out there. I mean, AIFO, for one, certainly has a very good community where you could just wake up in the morning, just take a look at the community, see what people who are doing a similar strategy to you are doing. Then you could either take that advice and apply it to your charts, or you can have a discussion and ask people for about 10, 15 minutes in the morning, be like, hey guys, this is my setup. What do you guys think? So there's a lot of resources out there for you to enter into trades accurately, but with working around your full-time work. Yeah.
Yeah, and I agree with you about the AIFO community. Like, there's a lot of people on there that are a lot more experienced. So for new traders, I would definitely recommend at least as you said, 10 or 15 minutes, just kind of seeing what the other traders are thinking about doing.
Yeah, absolutely. Can agree with you more. So one of the big questions I ask is a good show off time. A lot of our traders do like to show off. I mean, it's fantastic. In fact, we celebrate it. What's been your largest win?
So my largest win, best trade, was with iPhone. It was on a 20K account where I cleared just shy of 1400 USD. It was a perfect example of my strategy. I identified a major supply zone on the charts, waited for the macro headlines to align, and then with that technical level, managed to assess the risk properly. And so, yeah, just seeing the execution result in a solid profit really validated the work that I've been putting in.
Nice. Yeah. And that's a really good feeling as well, right? Like, once you've applied your strategy and it plays out almost perfectly, it's like, it just feels so good. You just get this huge rush of, yeah, I've cracked it. I know what I'm doing. But then the next two, we get stopped out and we lose and we get re-humbled in the markets. But yeah, that must have felt really good. I mean, $1,400 on a trade, it's fantastic. And you said you're only trading the hour, the London session from 8 to 8 to 9. So that's not bad, right? So just to enter into a trade at that time and make that, it's really, really good.
Yeah, I was pretty happy about it. So hopefully there'll be more of those to come.
So, what has been your experience like with AIFO? I know you've explored some other prop trading platforms, but with AIFO, what has been your key takeaways?
Well, honestly, it's just been really smooth. Can I say registration, verification was really quick. I found the platform's really responsive. The execution's fast, which is obviously vital when you're entering and exiting trades. I'm a big fan of the UI. I think it's really intuitive, and yeah, it's definitely a very professional environment for traders.
That's really good feedback. We really appreciate. I mean, AIFO is certainly a work in progress, and we're expanding our development team to try and bring a more refined, personalized experience to our traders. And in the future, we will be releasing some really interesting AI tools that we believe are going to act as, let's say, like co-pilots or guides beside our traders
Yeah.
to really kind of help our traders identify and break down the charts. Especially we know full-time employees it takes a while to do technical analysis, and if you had those tools that were then able to break those charts and that down for you before going to work, it would be so handy. So yeah, at the moment, I believe I'm very pleased that the process has been good, and we have a very good user experience, and we pride ourselves on that. But we are going to be expanding. We're going to be bringing out a lot more user-friendly, even more user-friendly dashboard, and eventually some really great tools that can assist our traders when trading.
It sounds brilliant. Sounds really good. I mean, introducing AI into how to use the UI properly, it'd just be a lot easier for new traders to come in and learn the ropes. It's like it lowers the barrier of entry even further, doesn't it? If you think about it.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I know you've given us already quite a lot of advice and great insight into your past, into trading. But do you have any other advice, especially for British traders?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it'd just be to block out the noise.
Mm.
Don't follow the hype on social medias. There's a substantial amount of poor trading material out there. That if you're just a beginner trader, it's just confusing. So try and identify and stay away from this type of content would be my biggest advice.
Yeah, that's something that I also reiterate as well. It's unavoidable. It is really, really unavoidable. And there are some great people out there who are teaching some fantastic stuff online. But yeah, it's so hard not to get sucked in to oh guys, is an easy thing. Sign up to my tips, join my community. I'll show you the way, right? It's very hard to avoid that. So yeah, that's a really good point.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it's just part of the journey, as you say. But yeah, another piece of advice would be to find a strategy that works for you, and lean into it. So go and do as much research as you can around that specific strategy, and then apply it with back testing, forward testing on your account.
That's really good. Yeah, that's really, really good advice. I mean, it's I not everyone's into supply and demand like you and I. And
Right.
what I found, I had to go through at least 4 or 5 different strategies before
Mm.
I landed on supply. I mean, I have a lot of other layers of confirmation that I've applied to supply and demand trading, but um, yeah, I've gone through quite a lot of different strategies. And yeah, once you find that one that you like, just go with it, run with it, back test it, forward test it, stick with it for a good amount of time. It's a really good point. Yeah, very, very good point.
I'd say finally as well, just pay attention to the world around you. So geopolitics, economic reports, these are your catalysts. So yeah, the charts just show you where the orders are, and you have to align these two things basically, and then you'll become a much more confident trader. So yeah, this would be my advice to new traders.
That's really good. Yeah, I couldn't agree more with you on all of your points there. I think this will be very, very useful, especially to our new traders. I am very mindful of time. Thank you so much for coming on. I'll see you around the communities, and no, really, thank you. Thank you very much for coming on and doing this interview.
Yeah, no worries. I look forward to it, Fred. Yeah, I'll see you again soon.
Thank you very much. All right. Bye for now.